Live from the Legends Tap Studios in Burlington City, New Jersey, this is Fantasy Dominance Now. Come dominate fantasy sports with us, and bringing you all the tools to dominate is Harry's Contracting. No job too big, no job too small. For a professional home improvement, give Harry Ernst a call at 609-638-6336, or you can email Harry's Contracting Improvements at gmail.com. He won't charge you to come out for an estimate, but if you mention a2dradio.com, you'll get 15% off the quote. Give Harry the job and tack on another 5% for a total of 20% savings. Happy buzzer beater, everybody. Thank you ever so much for joining us. I'm Rob Povia. Doug Fresh will be joining us on the Freshmaker Skype line, manned by the best producer in the biz, and that's Matt Sinsudi. Sitting across from me is our resident Pittsburgh fan. Boo!
Thanks, guys.
Mikey Kleinkopf. What's up, Mikey? What's up, Doug?
Man, nothing. SSDD, you know.
It is same shit, different day, you know. But unfortunately, we got some breaking news in the terrace field again. You want to give the viewers a little recap on that?
Yeah, I'm guessing it was this morning, which was I don't know what time it would be here, but in Belgium, there was 34 people killed in a bombing. There was 2 explosives that went off in by the airport in Brussels, and there was, what was the other place? It was the airport and a subway.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I think 34 is the total right now. Yeah, 34 are dead right now. So I don't know. I'm sure as the day goes on, there's going to be more, you know, after people who are put in critical condition, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's just, our heart goes out to the people out in Belgium. So
absolutely. That's
yeah.
a terrible thing, man.
Bad news all around in the news world, but certainly to the prayers for the families out there in Belgium, and another example of cowards attacking those that won't fire back, but they may fire back now.
I don't know. Hey, we've been sending some bombs their way lately, so
right.
You never know.
Absolutely. Well, Doug's got some more bad news on the fantasy front. Doug, what you got?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely nothing in comparison to that. I mean, you know, like the loss of life can't be, it can't be quantified. But in terms of the fantasy realm, big blow to DraftKings and FanDuel. The New York, they just settled it. They just settled in court, to stop, to shut down, their service out in New York State. This is the third such state where they've shut down services, joining Illinois and Texas as states that no longer DraftKings or FanDuel operate. This decision coming after, the injunction by the New York Supreme Court, stating that FanDuel needed to cease operations immediately, and then the injunction to stop that injunction, the temporary injunction to stop that injunction. So it's not looking good, man. I mean, if you're in New York and you play DraftKings or FanDuel and you're all about, the baseball season opening up in a few weeks, guess what? You're going to have to go to New Jersey to log in and play.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. What does this decision affect, potential legislation in New Jersey or in Pennsylvania, as we have a lot of listeners in those 2 states?
Well, it shouldn't affect New Jersey or Pennsylvania so much. Maybe New Jersey a lot less, mainly because we've legalized sports betting in the state of New Jersey. So because of the legalization of sports wagering, technically speaking, like even if this was considered gambling, it'd be considered sports betting. And sports betting is legal in New Jersey, so it would still be legal.
Another plus for the Garden State.
Woo!
Nice.
And everybody hates this state. I don't get it.
That's because they're hating on what they can't.
Yeah.
You hate us because you ain't us.
Yeah.
They hate us because they ate us.
That's right.
It's something I'd say in middle school.
Well, it's well established I'm the immature one of the group here, but this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I really feel that it's because the state government they don't get their cut off of it, so they got to shut it down.
Yeah, there's no tax or something on it, so they don't profit anything.
This agreement also came stemming from the fact that the New York's Attorney General basically went on record stating that, you know what I mean, he was going to come after DraftKings and FanDuel if New York legislators ruled that this is in fact illegal gambling. So this is a smart decision by them to go ahead and agree to shut down operations, because in this agreement basically says that New York Attorney General will not come after them if in fact New York legislators do rule in their favor. So it's good for DraftKings and for FanDuel, because at least they're basically covering their ass.
Right. Oh, no, there's no doubt about it. A random thought that pops into my head on how it could affect us here in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, maybe any of the other states out there. I mean, already, like you said, Illinois and Texas have already been dealing with the ban. You got less players now to potentially make money in these tournaments. Now you talk New York, population, what, over 3 million? You cut all that out of the revenue. You know,
and maybe I could win for a change.
And let's be honest, that's just New York City. Talk about like 3 million people. New York State as a whole, like you're probably talking about, 20 million people, 30 million people.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big blow right there to the state of New York.
Absolutely. It was already a big blow at the state of Texas. I mean, you figure the state of Texas has about another 20, 25 million people. Now you talk about 50 million people, 60 million people in just those two states alone. That's a big blow. It's a big blow to their revenue stream.
Yeah.
Well, gotta get those pre-draft rankings set for your fantasy leagues, because daily sports is going to take a hit now, and that's what we're here to help you dominate in all forms fantasy sports. You want in, absolutely, and you want in on the dominance? Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search HUDRadio.com. Now, if you got specific questions, we got your specific answers right here. Give us a call, 856-295-1178, or tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN. I'm at Robbie BLTZ. Doug Fresh is at StatMac.
I do want to add this too. Now, within this proposed legislation in New York, it also includes that there would be no horse betting, which makes no sense, because I don't think there's ever been a fantasy tab for a daily fantasy tab for horse races. Well, but there's also one that's very important to fantasy players, though, and that's a ban on college games.
Ooh.
You would not be allowed to do daily fantasy for college football or college basketball anymore under this proposed legislation.
Well,
do you think that'll be a bigger impact than the ban itself?
That may be make a bigger impact than the ban itself. Certainly the horse racing, I didn't know that when I went live on Periscope, which you can check out at my Twitter handle at RobbieBLTZ. Now I was talking about in comparison that, horse racing is okay, but we're going to ban fantasy sports. Well, I think just to take out that argument, you got to lump them in there. And maybe those in college fantasy sports or just in college betting in general, maybe the same logic applies.
I feel like college is even like a bigger market than all the four major sports, really. There's so many fans out there and so many people like to gamble. I feel like, college sports is where it is, but under
this proposed ban, you would not be allowed to do DFS for horse racing, which again doesn't make sense to me. I've never seen it, but you're not allowed to do it for college sports.
I know they have it for golf.
I'm personally behind that. I feel like if these kids aren't getting paid, and they should be, by the way, college athletes should get paid. They should get some type of stipend, like weekly or monthly. But if they're not making any money, why should we make money off of them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's just a less exploitation of these kids.
Rock solid point.
I'm all for that.
Rock solid point. And moving from one rock solid point to another, on our Twitter poll, we asked you who is the greatest fantasy baseball infielder of all time. We gave you options of Alex Rodriguez, Chase Utley, Albert Pujols, and one Miggy Cabrera. You can vote right now, Twitter at @ATDRadio_com. And our Twitter poll is being brought to you by Legends Tap, the best pizza this side of the Delaware. You can go catch a slice at 318 High Street in Burlington, New Jersey, right around the corner from our studios here. You can follow them on Facebook at Legends Tap. So, guys, we got to jump right into it because time is going to be of the essence this morning. We have 4 positions to break down within the infield. We're going to talk about who we think is the greatest infielder of all time. So you can definitely stay tuned for that. But let's jump right into the rankings and begin with the first base position. You guys want to go from 1 down to 10, 10 to 1? How do you want to start?
Whatever. I think we always save the best for last. So
Yeah, I'm always in the one for best class. I mean, though first base, I think we all know. I think we're all locking step at 1 and 2. I think we can all agree there.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why I suggested maybe starting up there because it'd be like, let's start where we agree and then move on to where we disagree. But hey, disagreeing is always more fun.
Of course. Um, so that being said, Rob, why don't you run us up your 10 through 5 real quick?
Sure, man. Sure. I'm going to start off with number 10, Adrian Gonzalez. Number 9, Eric Hosmer. Number 8, Joey Votto. Number 7, yeah. I had a bounce back year we saw in the second half of last season. So, I expect that now those knees are actually healthy. It'll be interesting to see if he can get back to former glory, which we did see, toward the second half of last year. Let's see here. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 7, I'm going to throw in Buster Posey because he is first base eligible. He got like 51 starts last year at first base. And I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me see here.
He got a few more than that, I think.
No, he had 41 games at first base last year, which was up from 33 in 2014. But you can expect that to even
but
jump.
either way, I mean, during the games, you could always have him as a first baseman if you want to play another catcher anyway. So
the betterment is that if you have him in your catching slot, this guy's gonna, assuming he's healthy all year, won't be a detriment. Exactly.
Agreed there, 100%.
Exactly. 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 6, Jose Abreu out in Chicago White Sox land. I got it number 6, and I'll stop there.
Yeah. I did really bad counting. I'm like 10 through 5. Wait, that's 6 people. My math's no good.
That fine New Jersey education.
that is that fine New Jersey education right there.
Oh man.
So who do you got 10 to 6, man?
Let's see. My 10 through 6, similar. I had a few guys in a few different places. At 10 personally, I had Albert Pujols. I feel like he's still a great player. He's still going to give you a lot of production. So you got to slide him in there at 10, especially because he's DH eligible too, and you figure he's going to DH quite a bit this year. So he's going to play. 9, I had Adrian Gonzalez. At 8, I also had Buster Posey. At 7, I had Prince Fielder. I'm expecting some big things there out of Prince.
I thought about throwing him in my list too. I really did. I mean, obviously the man's done it in the past. It's again, it's all about health.
Absolutely, it really is all about health. And then at 6, I had Edwin Encarnacion.
E squared.
Squared, baby.
I
I think this is going to be the start of his decline. So that's why I have him at 6.
Get him while he's still producing. I like your style. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't disagree with any of those. I mean, some of them are a little bit out of sorts for me. I get to E squared later on in my my rankings. Mikey, what do you got 10 through 6?
10, I had a mix up between Freddie Freeman and Adrian Gonzalez. There's something about Freeman. He's always a consistent player, so I always like him. Definitely not one of your first picks, but Freddie Freeman's definitely a good player. Adrian Gonzalez, like you said, he's getting up there in age, though. He's 33, but he still hits the ball well. 9, I have Eric Hosmer. 8, I have Jose Abreu. His team just scares me. That's the only issue. He's a phenomenal player, but the team around him scares me. So he's going to be hitting home runs, but it's going to be one RBI run. It's not going to be multiple RBI. That's the only issue there.
And they lost a key factor with Adam LaRoche, like randomly retiring, leaving him behind 13 mil.
I mean, even Chris Sale's not happy with the vice president either. He was saying that this is horseshit, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, how do you let a guy how do you agree to something with the guy and then try and go back on your agreement?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Chris Sale's upset. And that's not good to have your star player upset knowing that you're basically, as an organization, you're okay with going back on your word.
Yeah.
It's
That's
good.
Never good.
It's good if you're Chris Sale owners because maybe they'll ship him out of town and get you a few more wins.
Get him a better team.
Absolutely.
Send him to Pittsburgh.
Send him to New York, baby.
Yeah, that's all you guys would need, right? 5 starting pitchers that are actually good.
Oh, wait. I think we already have that.
All right, number 7, I put Chris Davis. He's always home run hitter, so he's high in fantasy points. And number 6, I have Joey Votto.
Sure. Oh, you got Joey Votto at 6.
Yeah,
that's showing a little Votto
like
love.
you said, once he's healthy, he could be the best first baseman in the league.
Yeah.
It's just health is always an issue with him. So.
Right. Tremendous eye to play, great on base percentage. You're always going to get that from Joey Votto.
Yeah, you're just not going to get the power though from Votto versus some of these other guys. That's my only beef with Joey Votto.
Could see an uptick this year. I could see the man popping out 25, 27 homers, which would be nice with a 302 average.
That'd be great with a 302 average.
I could see it. Like you said, just health is a concern.
Right. No doubt about it.
He's definitely capable of it. So.
All right. I'll give my 5 through 1 real quick. Number 5, I have E squared up there, Edwin Carcione. I got Chris Davis at 4. Miggy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I know he strikes out a ton. You know, the batting average could hamper you if you're in category leagues. Maybe you shift him down a little bit in your rankings in category leagues. In a points league, which is what I'm basing my rankings on right now, I got him right there at number 4. I got Miggy Cabrera number 3. I got Anthony Rizzo number 2, and no surprise, Paul Goldschmidt number 1.
Yeah, all right. So maybe I was wrong with 1 and 2 being locked in step. I mean, I think wow, you really think Rizzo is going to be a better year than Miggy?
I do. I think he'll probably
team around him.
The team around him. Absolutely. I think the key thing is exactly what you just made a good point of, Mike. The team around him. I think he scores 15 more runs than Miggy. The homers and RBIs will be about the same, but Anthony Rizzo showed a little tendency for a little stolen base larceny last year. And, hopefully to see that continue, maybe he can swipe you 10, 12 bags. That's another bonus.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it granted, I got no real issue with it. You know what I mean? Outside of, I just think the batting average is what sets the two of them apart. You know what I mean? I mean, Miguel Cabrera is arguably like a batting champion. Like he's in contention for a batting title every year.
Right.
You know, and that to me, along with Paul Goldschmidt, that's what separates those two from everyone else.
Well, maybe I have him there because it represents what my theory is that I'm going to start to see Miggy regress at this point in his age and his career or what have you. I know you don't see that happening quite yet, Doug. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but that's just why I have him at 3. Yeah.
We really have. No, I can dig
I noticed you didn't keep him, though. You didn't wind up keeping him in the league. You went 3 pitchers. I'm proud of you.
No, I did not keep him in your league. But that's also because, I saw where my value was. My value in your particular league was the fact that I had, 5 starting pitchers that were keeper worthy.
Right.
So if I got 5, I'm going to keep 3.
Yeah, so it's gonna be great. All 3 of us in the same league this year should make it for a good.
I can't even talk to you guys now. You're like, oh, you guys should pick him up, but really, he's a free agent in our league, so I can't say that.
Well, me to give you a little background, me and Doug made a pact. We're never gonna pull punches on the show because we want to help everyone out there listening dominate like we do.
Yeah.
But the real true gems, maybe I might hold back a little bit, or I'll talk about it on the show after I added him in our league. Something like that.
I can't tell anybody out loud. That's my pickup.
That's how we roll, man. That's how we roll.
Absolutely.
But yeah, real quick, my 5 through 1. I actually have Joey Votto at 5.
Nice.
I think he deserves that spot. I have Anthony Rizzo at 4. Because I do think he's going to have that big year you're talking about. I just think the other 3 guys ahead of him are just going to be just a little bit better. 3, obviously, Jose Abreu, 2, Miggy, and then 1, Paul Goldschmidt.
Jose Abreu at 3. Nice. So you got him higher than both me and Mike.
Yeah, I'm high on Abreu this year. I think that White Sox offense underachieved last year. And with the additions that they've made in the offseason, especially getting a Todd Frazier and getting Brent Lowry. Right. I think those 2 guys are going to add to that protection that Jose Abreu was missing last year. And let's be real, too. I mean, that White Sox offense did pick it up the second half of last year, with guys like Melky Cabrera and Adams hitting the back of their baseball cards.
Absolutely. And with the prospect of, we mentioned Adam LaRoche calling it a career, Avisail Garcia now is going to slide into that starting DH role. If he can prove to his nickname from 2 years ago, Little Miggy, that could be a big bolster in everyone in that lineup.
absolutely could be. I mean, but what say you, Mike? What's your 5-1?
5 I went Buster Posey. There's just something about him that I like and everything. So he could be the best first baseman in stat wise. Even like I said, he's going to be your catcher, but you could always throw him as a first baseman. Number 4, Edwin Encarnacion. 3, Anthony Rizzo, and then 2, Miggy, and 1, Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay. So you don't even have Prince on your list at all.
No, I don't. It's just hard because he's hurt. He's getting there, but I don't know. Is he going to have that bounce back year? But right now, these are my top 10. It's hard not putting Pujols or Prince Fielder in there, considering these guys are home run hitters. They're consistent players. It's just hard not having them in my top 10. But right now, if I were to have my top 10, it would be these guys that I just said.
Absolutely. If you're in a 12,
Fair enough.
if you're in a 12 team league, maybe you can throw up Prince Fielder 11, 12.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on you, Doug, for where you put him though. So great opening segment. We broke the ice on the infield. Very well done, gentlemen. Very time efficient. And this segment was brought to you by the Philly Sports Bar, located at 31 South Black Horse Pike in Runnymede, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 856-939-4322, or visit them online, phillydiner.com. On the other side, we're tackling the middle infield, second base and shortstop. Keep it there. You're listening to Fantasy Dominance now here on a2dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real Talk, a2dradio.com.
Hi, this is Manson Sudi of the Hockey Happy Hour. And if I want a night out in the town, but I don't want to miss the Flyers, there's only one place I'm going to, the Philly Sports Bar. Located in 31 South Black Horse Pike in Runnymede, New Jersey, it has over 40 plasma and HD TVs with a brick oven and a 2-story deck. This sports bar has truly surpassed everyone's expectations. For the one-of-a-kind sports memorabilia to the life-size sports figures, this bar stays true to its name. The Philly Sports Bar also provides a quality service along with an outstanding variety of the finest liquors and well-known beers with a family-friendly environment for everyone, while remaining true to what they are, the best darn sports bar. So check out the Philly Sports Bar. You can give them a call at 856-939-4322. Send them an email at info@phillysportsbar.com or check out their website at www.phillysportsbar.com. That's the Philly Sports Bar in Runnymede, New Jersey.
This is Tom Arnone, owner and founder of a2dradio.com. What if I told you I knew the best caterer in the business? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's Obie's Catering. You can contact Obie's Catering at cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or give Chris O'Brien a call at 856-534-8410. Graduations, the wedding rehearsals, to just if you need food cooked in your house. He'll do it all. He's trying to change the world one dish at a time. That's Obie's Catering. Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Tell him Tommy A from a2dradio.com sent you, and you'll get 20% off. I'm going hungry.
Hey guys, Rob Povia here from Fantasy Dominance Now and the Hockey Happy Hour with a quick question. Are you in need of a professional home improvement? Then contact Harry's Contracting, 609-638-6336. That's 609-638-6336. No job too big, no job too small. The owner, Harry Ernst, is a fully licensed general contractor. Tile work, bathroom and kitchen remodeling, and just about everything else. No matter what you need, Harry will leave your home looking as beautiful as ever. Harry's Contracting offers free estimates, and if you mention A2D Radio during the estimate, Harry will give you 15% off the quote. Give him the job, tack on another 5% for a total of 20% savings off his already insane low prices. So contact Harry's Contracting today, 609-638-6336, or email Harry's Contracting Improvements at gmail.com. Harry's Contracting, insane home improvements.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, powered by Harry's Contracting. For professional home improvement, give Harry Ernst a call at 609-638-6336, or you can email him Harry's Contracting Improvements at gmail.com. So we already broke down the first baseman position. Now it's time to tackle the middle infield. And this segment is being brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. You can go visit them, 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-939-2030, or look them up online, sportsoutletinc.com. So is there any debate, gentlemen, who the number one second baseman is this year?
No.
Probably.
I'll keep it simple. No.
No, there isn't a doubt about it, but we'll still tackle it 10-6. I like that format. I'll jump right into it with old reliable Dustin Pedroia up in Beantown. I could see him having a 281 average, projected at 12 home runs, 58 RBIs on the season. That's good enough for number 10 on my list. Number 9, I got Brian Dozier from the Minnesota Twins. At number 8, I got Colton Wong, St. Louis Cardinals. At number 7, I got Jason Kipnis from Cleveland Indians. It was really underestimated, not very heralded player that can really fill, that second base slot, that middle infield spot, if your league has that position. And at number 6, I got Ian Kinsler from the Detroit Tigers.
Not bad. Not bad. I think Kinsler might be a little low based on what he's done over the last few years, but no real complaints there.
Yeah. I struggled with that. I was trying to fit, a few other guys, some of the guys that are ranked real low based on injuries last year that I really see, big bust out, return to former glory years, and I'll get to them in my top 5. Who do you got, Doug, in your lower 5?
My lower 5, at 10, I'm actually starting out with Daniel Murphy. I think he's going to have a big year in Washington. So he finally cracks that 10. At 9, I have Dustin Pedroia. I think he's going to do a little bit better than what most people think. At 8, I actually have I have Anthony Rendon. Hopefully he gets returned back to health. More importantly, he still has second base eligibility.
Right.
So, I slotted him in there right there at 8.
He's one of those players I was alluding to that I got later on. Yeah.
Okay. At 7, I have Brian Dozier. I love Brian Dozier. I think he's a great player. But yeah, I have him slotted in there right there at 7.
Great young all-around player.
Absolutely. At 6, I have Colton Wong. I think that, this is going to be his time. This is his breakout, so to speak.
I can definitely see that, man. Definitely makes my top 10 as well.
What say you, Mikey?
All right, number 10, I have Daniel Murphy as well. I think, depends what kind of Murphy you get this year. Are you going to get beginning season Murphy, or are you going to get playoff Murphy? And if you get playoff Murphy, you're going to do great.
Yeah.
But, I just, that's why I threw him down at 10. I have Brian Dozier at 9, Colton Wong at 8, Jason Kipnis at 7, and Rognode Odar, if that's how you say it, from the Rangers,
What?
at 6.
Oh, Rugged Odor?
Rugged Odor, as we call him on here. No, it's definitely Odar, but Rune, I believe.
Rune?
Yeah, I think it's Rune.
Jesus.
Yep. But
maybe if you can't say his name, don't draft him. But
no, you definitely, whether you can pronounce it or not, you definitely draft him. I think he's one of the deeper sleepers in this. I mean, not can you really call him a sleeper if you're throwing him in your top 10?
Probably not.
But I really see a breakout campaign coming from this
he
man.
Could be a gem.
So do I. Which is why he'll be in my top 10 next year. He's just not there this year.
You got to see it one year. Absolutely. Doug Fresh. It's got to pass the Doug Fresh eye test in order to make it on his squad.
Absolutely, man. You can't be a top 10 guy for doing it 1 year. You can't do it.
Right. All right, gentlemen, we're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now here on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to A2D Radio, A2D Radio, A2D Radio at A2DRadio.com.
All right, and we're back. So I'm coming in real quick with a breaking news. This came in about an hour ago, but Chiefs linebacker Justin Houston had ACL surgery in February, putting his 2016 season in doubt. So for Chiefs fans, you're not getting your best linebacker in this season. So that's going to be rough. Don't get me wrong. The Chiefs defense is still going to be phenomenal, but Houston is a big reason as to why they are one of the best defenses in the league. So
forget about the Chiefs. What about an IDP owner?
Yeah.
He's like, shit, man. You could maybe I could have kept him.
That's all right. They still got Tom Bahali, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they still got guys there. And
Justin
not to mention, it's a good time of year for that to happen because now you can at least account for it. You can draft accordingly. They can go sign a guy. Alden Smith's still out there.
True.
Alden Smith,
But
your
yeah,
boy.
That's big.
Hell yeah, it's my boy. You know what I mean? Him and his drunk ass.
Go buy a 40 with him. Chill out. Curbside.
Yeah, his signing bonus should be a case of 40s.
That's right. Ole or Colt 45.
As long as it comes
Martavius
with two
Bryant,
big
2
guys.
zigzags, you know. What a dumbass.
It's a party. These
Oh,
guys,
God.
they can't put down the bottle, the glass.
Dude, like you're
or the
making
pipe.
millions of dollars. Come on, just put it down.
Right.
You got,
Yeah.
normal career wide receiver, I would say 10 to 13 years. Smoke weed all you want after that, okay?
Right.
Earn your money now. Do it after.
Well, actually, they brought this up on Agree to Disagree last week. You only have a time of the year that they say, look,
We're going to test you.
we're going to test you.
Exactly.
So don't smoke during this time period. And if
Yeah.
you can't stop in that period,
You have a
well,
problem.
you have a problem. No doubt about it. No
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Because the next suspension that Brian gets, he's done.
Done.
He's going to be the next Josh Gordon in the league.
It should be a shame, man. But both of those gentlemen, world of talent.
Yeah.
World of talent.
Oh,
Unlike
man.
Johnny Manziel. A different position, but still a party boy nonetheless.
I don't know why everybody was so high on Manziel anyway.
Because he brought the wow factor, and then we realized it was the
It was the boo
the candy
factor because he
factor.
sucked.
He brought the candy with him everywhere he went.
Right. All right, gentlemen, let's jump back into it. We're going down our second base rankings as part of our middle infield preview here for the fantasy baseball season. And this is being brought to you by Martina Roofing with more than 15 years of roofing experience. They're proudly serving the Sewell, New Jersey, as well as Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the South Jersey area. Give them a call at 609-792-5103. Look them up online, martinaroofingllc.com. I'll get into my top 5 in the second base category. And at number 5 is the aforementioned Rune Odor from Texas. I think is a strong bounce back player this year. I know I read on MLB.com. I'm just going to punch this up really quickly. Should have had this prepared. Sorry, everyone out there. But it just, according to Fred Zinke, he feels that he could potentially be the number 1 second baseman this year in fantasy baseball. I'm not going that far.
Who's this?
This is Fred Zinke of MLB.com. I just wanted to give him a little credit for, I don't know. I mean, are you forgetting about Jose Altuve? But we'll get there in a second. Number 4, I got Anthony Rendon. You gentlemen both spoke about him. He is a second base eligible as well as third base. I slot him in at the number 4 position. Again, injury does play a factor here. He's never been able to complete a full season. Hopefully this will be it if you draft him as the 4th overall second baseman. Number 3, I gotta still throw in Robinson Cano. I know he has depleted, especially in power numbers since moving to Seattle, but I could really project him still pop in about 20, 21 bombs and a 296 average. Number 2 is purely based on the stolen base and on base percentage and average, and that's one D Gordon from Miami Marlins. And then number 1, Jose Altuve.
I mean, my top 3 are lock and step with you.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was going out on a limb with putting Cano 3.
Actually, did you have Rendon 4 too?
Yep.
I have Rendon 4.
Nice.
So
great minds
all
think
right.
alike.
So that's probably where we differ. I obviously don't have Rendon 4. Actually, that's where I have Ian Kinsler.
okay.
Right.
I have Ian Kinsler 4. I have Matt Carpenter at 5
Okay.
for my second baseman.
Matt Carpenter. I forgot about Matt Carpenter on this
but
list.
He's also third baseman as well, so he's also plays both positions.
Yep.
Yeah,
Save
exactly.
him for my
So-
third base ranking. Just saying.
Hey, he's a Cardinal. Screw him.
Yeah, so we really don't care too much.
Hey man, hey, I'll take
Agree on
that.
that.
I'll take that 310 batting average all day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You got to put personal biasness aside. I didn't by
Absolutely.
leaving Murphy off my top 10. And this gentleman.
I mean, like, I would always draft personal biases aside, I would always try to draft Cole Hamels every year when he was a Philly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I knew what I was going to get out of him. I was going to get like 200 strikeouts. I was going to get like 12 wins, and I was going to get 7 to 8 innings a timeout, like every time out. I knew what I was getting. I was good.
Cool.
Got to, man. You got to. When you're spending money to try and win some money and talk a lot of trash, you can't have bias.
You just got to, mister.
You just got to.
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a pool man. So Mike, me and you agreed on the top 4. Who was your number 5?
Kinsler.
Kinsler.
Ian Kinsler. So
Right.
not too far with Doug, So I mean, Kinsler's going to have another great season.
Absolutely. I mean, he technically by fantasy points, I believe he was actually the leading point getter at second base last season
That's interesting.
in points league.
Yeah. But I still think overall Altuve and Gordon have to be 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
But-
most definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, because you can't.
Altuve's got to be the most consistent.
He really is. I mean, he's had 3 years in the league. I want to say it's 3 years batting over 300,
Yeah.
and 2 of those 3 years with like 40+ stolen bases.
Yeah. Little guy
Yeah.
too. Little guy with nice contact and power,
Yeah, that's the surprising thing is the power.
Yeah.
You don't expect him to hit 10, 15 home runs, but he can.
Yeah. He reminds me of the old Gabe Cologne that used to work for the station.
We love Gabe.
Yeah.
What up? So, Doug, did you give your top 5?
I did.
You
I
did?
did. My top 3, everybody's top name. My 4 and 5, obviously, were Kinsler at 4, Carpenter at 5.
What's just refreshing here is that you got, pretty deep top 10. Second base, which has been a position of scarcity in the past, no longer.
No. Now that's the shortstop position
Right? Yeah.
with a lot of uncertainties, a lot of just guys.
Absolutely. That's a nice segue, man. Break off your lower 5 and shortstop.
This is hard, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is actually really, really hard. because there's just a lot of guys, and a lot of uncertainty with guys.
Right.
So my 10, starting at number 10, I had oh God, where did it go? Uh-oh. Malfunction.
Well, I'll take over while he's
There you go.
looking there. But
Jump on in.
Appreciate it.
my only
Appreciate
pirate
it.
that I have for all these infield positions, Jung Ho Kang,
Oh,
when he is healthy, and I
Yeah.
believe that he is going to start the season, he will be somebody you don't want to mess with, because this kid, last season, he didn't play as much, but this year he's going to take on that starting role, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I could see him getting over at least 25 home runs, because this guy is a power hitter,
right.
and he's very good. He's got that Korean stance, and you know how those guys are, man. They are contact hitters. I love them. Number 9, I have Addison Russell. 8, I have Brandon Crawford. 7, Starlin Castro, and number 6, Ian Desmond.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I got some of those guys in different positions, but I like where your head's at there. I can see your line of thinking, both on Addison Russell as well as Ian Desmond, who will be playing the outfield for the Texas Rangers, but that only multiplies his fantasy value because now he'll be outfield eligible as well as shortstop. The only thing is, though, usually it's the other way around, because if he's going to change over to the outfield and then lose that, then he becomes just maybe an average to above average outfielder. But what's great is that if you have to double up, if you have a random injury on your team and you can slide another qualifiable shortstop in there, it gives you a little bit of room of flexibility.
It does. It definitely does. I like your 5 so far. I'm with it.
Thanks.
Spanks.
I like it.
What you got? What you got your list up, Doug?
Yeah, I'm good now. At 10, I have Ian Desmond for similar reasons to Mike. At 9, I have Starlin Castro, still shortstop eligible, even though he's playing second. At 8, I have Alcides Escobar. At 7, this is where I get a little tricky. At 7, I have Corey Seager.
Ooh, wow.
I like the kid. I like the kid a lot. It's just more of a matter of health with him. If he's going to be able to stay healthy this season, I really think he's going to be a really good player. And at 6, I have Brandon Crawford.
I like it. I see what I struggled in was Alcides Escobar. I so wanted to include him on my list, and I do slot him in at number 11 because there's one guy I just like a little bit better, not a big name out there, but Eugenio Suarez from the Cincinnati Reds is definitely a guy that I think could put up top 10, in the lower top 10 production out of the shortstop hole. He's eligible at third base as well, and he can pop the ball out of the ballpark a little bit, hitting in the Homer Dome that's in Cincinnati. 16 homers is very capable for him. Probably about 250 average. It's not lighting up the world, but it could give you, especially if you have a middle infielder slot, he's a great guy to slot in there. At number 9, I got Starlin Castro, right where Doug had him as well, because he is still shortstop eligible. I got number 8, Addison Russell. Number 7, Ian Desmond. And number 6, I got Elvis Gin and Juice.
Gin and Juice?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I always have love for Elvis. I think he's a great multi-tool player. Certainly gets you a lot of different points across the category league stats. Absolutely. So
agreed there. I mean, he's definitely a multi-tool guy. Just a matter of consistency. Can he put together a full season of it instead of if he's a guy that's very hot and cold.
Yeah, it's
what I mean?
And Texas is full of them. They really are. This is why the Texas Rangers could be the best team in baseball, or they could be middle of the pack. It depends on all these guys that can go either way, and not like that.
Hey now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. So that's the lower six. Some similarities, a few discrepancies, and what's good is that you get the perspective of three guys that have been doing it for years in the fantasy business, can help you dominate. If you got any questions, now I know we're focusing mostly on fantasy baseball today, but with fantasy hockey right in midstream of playoffs and fantasy basketball about to jump in on the playoff party. If you got questions, hit us up, 856-295-1178. You can tweet at us at StatMagnet85, at RobbieBLTZ with the hashtag AskFDN. Now, moving on to the top five, I'll read off mine really quickly. I got Troy Tulowitzki at number 5. It's always a gamble.
Yeah.
You always went for Tulo back in the day, number 1, and then the injuries became a bugaboo for him in the biggest way. I always have a problem drafting a guy that I could potentially lose for half of the season. But when he's healthy, man, he's just arguably one of the he's lights out. He's absolutely lights out. Well said. Number 4, I got Corey Seager. Number 3, I got Francisco Lindor. I really saw when he first broke in, he looked like, okay, this is a guy that can play the position, but he's not going to be a good fantasy player. He had a rough go at it. It took a period, about month and a half of adjustment, and then he lit it up. And unlike Doug, I don't need a full year to see the eye test. I'd be comfortable drafting him, as my number 1 shortstop in most leagues.
Hey, I mean, it's each their own. I can't do that. I can't do that. Not with him, at least. There are exceptions. Listen, there's always exceptions to the rule.
Sure.
There has to be. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Otherwise, the rule doesn't make sense, because the rules should apply to everyone, but they really can't.
That's right. Always an exception to the rule, no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. But then again, it's well established that I'm freaking crazy. So,
Well, that's hey, no one's disagreeing with you there.
Well, yeah. As you told me in many production meetings, you crazy, man. You crazy. Number two, I got Xander Bogaerts from the Red Sox. And number 1, you see it on our thumbnail, could potentially talk about, being a future all-time greatest fantasy baseball infielder, which you can vote now on our Twitter handle at A2D_com, A2D_radio_com, excuse me. Carlos Correa, I think, is just a beast. He's a special player. If you are blessed to get him in the first round, second round, I think that's a great middle of your infield for your lineup.
Love it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't think I could disagree with that too much.
Yeah, that's how I have my top 2 as well. Just going
with
with
my
that.
top. Well, Mike, what do you got? What's your 5?
Well, I realized that I wrote down 11 names, but we'll go with.
It's really easy to do that.
Yeah.
Really easy to do that. Coming in
But
hot.
number 6, I went with Francisco Lindor. 5, I went with Corey Seager. 4, Elvis Andrews, and then 3, Tulo, and then 2, Bogarts, and 1, Correa.
Okay.
It's hard not wanting to pick Tulo, like you said. It's just like you don't know what you're going to get with him. He's always hurt. That's his only issue. If he could stay healthy, he could be potentially the best shortstop.
Well, here's what you do, gentlemen. You still draft him, and you can draft him high, but you make sure that you get an everyday starting shortstop to back him up.
Yeah, another stud.
You get a guy that you can get on the cheap in maybe round 22 that, maybe a guy that are in your league, if they sleep on Eugenio Suarez.
I remember that name for our draft on Saturday.
Or even Kettle Marte.
It might be.
I'm a big believer in that case.
The draft actually may be moving to Monday.
No.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it depends. I had the guy put it out for a vote on the league page.
I hope not, because I work on Mondays.
Yeah.
I voted Monday. I'll tell you that right now.
Because I work till 6 o'clock on Saturday, so it works out for me.
I mean, me too. It was fine and dandy for me, but we'll take care of that offline. We'll take care of that. All right, Doug. Who do you got for your top 5?
Oh, shoot. Real quick, my 5. At 5, I actually had Jung Ho Kang. I think based on just like the scarcity of position, I really like his bat. And where he's going to be hitting in Pittsburgh's lineup. At 4, I had Elvis Andrews. At 3, I had Xander Bogaerts. 2, I had Tulowitzki, and then 1, I had Carlos Correa as well.
See, we're all loving Tulo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, it's just one of those guys that I grew up watching, and it's just like he was always a good player. It's not like he's old or anything, but, you know, when I actually started picking up on baseball.
Sure.
I mean, come on. What did you really want to be a Pirates fan in the early 2000s? No.
Probably not.
It was embarrassing to admit it to people. You know, they sucked.
Been there, dude.
So,
Been there, dude.
you know, I really didn't catch on to baseball until, like, you know, the earlier 2010, you know, like that range, you know, the teens, you know.
Right. Well, this is why I'm a fantasy sports junkie, because it's well claimed that my teams sometimes shit the bed, and very often, but at least my fantasy team rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, since 92,
Most
I
of
mean,
the
the
time.
Pirates suck, so
Yeah.
it was hard growing up my whole life until about 5 years ago.
Right. Right. And you two boys are definitely high on Kang as well.
Yeah.
Somebody that I did not even look at in my top 10, and I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to present an argument with you. Maybe I'm finally, you know, picking up what Doug's putting down, and, you know, maybe I want to see a little more.
Yeah.
But he's definitely got the talent.
Yeah, well, no, the reason I have him at 5 is not just because, like, I like the lineup he's in. I think he's a very good player. He's a good contact hitter. But more importantly, he's professional.
Right.
Like, he's not like a young kid who hasn't done it before on a professional level. Like, you know, he was a pro in the Korean League or something.
Yeah, he had 40 home runs.
Yeah, he's
in the
a
season
big time. Yeah, he's a big time power hitter in Korea. So, like, this guy's like a player. This guy's not like some kid who we don't know what he can do.
Yeah, last season he played 126 games. He had 121 hits, 15 home runs, 58 RBIs. He batted a 287, on base 355, and slugging 461. So he's a power hitter. He really could.
Yeah.
Be.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, that's all I really had to say. He has potential to, you know, hit. I think he could hit 30 home runs this season.
Wow.
I really do think he could.
Well,
and that's great for a shortstop, too. I mean, he plays shortstop, third base, but, you know, I think he has potential. He did it in the Korean leagues. Why can't he do it in the MLB, you know?
This is true. My first introduction to him was in the WPEC when he was playing for Team Korea, and he just smacked the ball all around the ballpark. Yeah. Doug, what do you got about him?
I mean, besides everything Mike said, nothing. Like, I'm right there with him, man. I mean, I think this kid's legit. Like, I mean, last year if he had played 155, 160 games, he would have hit 25 home runs. So,
all right,
you know, it's there.
Well, what a good time to hit the break. Then we all got nothing. We tackled that middle infield position. Made it our bitch. Hey, you want to get your game in shape and not be a bitch? Go to Scanzano Sports Center at 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 856-889-3434, or definitely check out their new updated website at scanzanosports.com. Scanzano Sports Center, come get your game in shape. On the other side, we're getting to the poll results and a little debate. Who was or who is the greatest fantasy baseball infielder of all time? This is Fantasy Dominance Now here on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Romeo's Termite and Pest Control. Family owned and operated, Romeo's only employs the safest, most effective methods to rectify your situation. Whether it's at your house or at your commercial residence, no matter what the concern may be, they'll get the job done. Raccoons, squirrels, bed bugs, termites, you name it, they'll take care of it. Satisfaction guaranteed. Give them a call at 856-341-3927 or look them up on Facebook at Romeo's Pest Control or visit their website at www.romeospestcontrol.com, your local pest control provider.
Hey, Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey, with over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. You search A2DRadio.com. We're on Google Plus as well. We're everywhere. We're truly everywhere. We got our finger on the pulse in all things Philly sports and beyond, like today's Fantasy Dominance Now, where we get into a national spectrum to give you all the tools to dominate in your fantasy baseball, your fantasy hockey, your fantasy basketball, fantasy basket weaving,
cricket, you know, you name it. We got you. Volleyball.
We got you covered. We got you covered. And if you got any questions,
Hey, where's the polo?
The polo.
Can't forget about squash too. Squash is becoming, you know, a new game since, you know, there's brawls after the matches. You know, it's getting intense. Yeah.
I smell a fantasy what segment coming in our near future.
I do too.
But for now, if you have any questions, give us a call, 856-295-1178. Tweet us with the hashtag AskFDN. I'm at Robbie BLTZ. Doug Fresh is at StatMagnet85. So, gentlemen, we put up on the station's Twitter poll, who is the greatest fantasy baseball infielder of all time? Is it Alex Rodriguez? Is it Chase Utley? Is it Albert Pujols? Is it Miggy Cabrera? Is it a name we left off this list? Well, we'll have to get to the poll results in a little bit, but we'll talk about who we think was the biggest aid to our team, or maybe the biggest pest that we had to go up against in matchups. And speaking of pests, if you have a pest problem, you need to contact Romeo's Termite and Pest Control today. They're your local pest control provider, even if they're out of their jurisdiction, so to speak, or their area. They'll reach out. I actually had, for one of our customers, one of our loyal listeners, A2DRadio.com, live further out in Pennsylvania. They actually called another company and had them service them. Really well done. They look out for their customers. You can give them a call, 856-341-3927. Look them up online, romeospestcontrol.com. So, Doug, let me start with you, man. Are any of these four the best fantasy baseball infielder you've ever owned?
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, there's been a lot of really good ones over the years, at least as long as I've been playing. I would have to, I mean, if I had to vote for one, I would probably say Alex Rodriguez, only because of the production he gave you from a shortstop position. It was unreal.
Oh, absolutely unreal, man. You look back to, 1998, way back in the Seattle Mariner days. 310 average, 123 runs scored, 42 homers, 124 RBIs, and 46 stolen bases. He was just phenomenal from the very beginning. He was selected as the number 1 overall pick by the Mariners in 93. He was called up to the major leagues just 1 year later at age 18. and his career never looked back. I mean, maybe up until the Aroyd or maybe eating disgusting popcorn with Cameron Diaz days. But before all that, A-Rod's, his season in 1998 was incredible, becoming the second man to hit 40 homers and steal 40 bases in one season. The steal is really why I selected him that year, instead of, or selected this year to highlight rather than 2001 and 2002. All apologies to Ernie Banks, because that was before really fantasy baseball, but that was really the best year. You could look at his 2007 season as well. In 2007, let me just pull this up real quick. I think that was another monster year for him in terms of fantasy, for the New York Yankees. 143 runs, 54 bombs, 156 RBIs, and still 24 bags, as an aging player. He had his slugging was 645. His OPS was 1.067, out of this world. I don't think there's any debate that it should be Alex Rodriguez. That's why I kind of went off on a tiff there. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I mean, and for great reason. I mean, Alex Rodriguez is a really great player. It's going to be a shame that he might not make it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He should, especially Barry Bonds, especially Roger Clemens. But, you can't cheat the game.
Yeah.
You can't cheat the game. You can't lie about it either. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be like, yeah, I did it, but I did it when I could. No one really cares. But you know what I mean? He did it and then he lied about it, and you can't do that.
Absolutely. We got a couple people chiming in on the Facebook page. I got one, Michael Mataraki from AM and the PM. He says it's got to be Miggy. Maybe that's much to Doug Fresh's likings. And then Doug Zeke chimes in and says that hey, I agree with Mike. He took the words right out of his mouth, and then he'd probably go Pujols next. No love for A-Rod. Wow. Maybe because of the stigma. The stigmata.
Well, Aroyd, yeah. I mean, that doesn't help necessarily. I mean, but Miguel Cabrera's case, I mean, is really good too. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
First Triple Crown winner in like 45 years. I mean, that's definitely not an accomplishment to be sniffed at,
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah, in that year too. I mean, he had 139 RBIs, 44 home runs. He hit 330. With a 393 on base. Like, he had a monster year that year.
Yeah, absolutely. Monster numbers. The Triple Crown, well, it's not what it once was. Yeah, you had to put it, you had to be hitting 360, 370 to get a Triple Crown, or plus maybe even closer to 400 in Ted Williams' day. But those stats alone for fantasy were just monstrous. Absolutely just monstrous.
But I mean, bro, he hit 350.
Yeah.
340 his Triple Crown year. He hit 350.
350
It's crazy.
It's nothing to shake a stick at unless you're Honus Wagner or Killebrew or
Ted Williams.
Exactly.
Wasn't his Triple Crown like he hit like 400 that year with his Triple Crown? Like he was like at 398 or something.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
But in the outfield, and we're talking greatest fantasy baseball infielder of all time. So sorry.
Yeah. Point taken.
Absolutely. Mikey, what's your opinion on this, man?
Well,
who's the greatest for you?
For me, it's got to be Albert Pujols. It's just a person that I grew up more watching, considering he's in our division. This guy's, you can't leave him out of the question, considering his first season alone had 37 home runs. I'll give you a rundown of all of his home runs throughout his career. 37, 34, 43, 46, 41, 49, 32, 37, 47, 42, 37, 30, 17, 20, and 40 last season. As a 35-year-old, that's phenomenal. This guy, he's still one of the greatest players. I still think he's going to have a good season this year. Maybe not 40 home runs, but maybe 25, 30. I don't know if he's going to get over that 30, but he could. But Pujols is just one of those guys that, like I said, I grew up watching him. He's just one of the best players I've ever seen take the field. I mean, it's just like I said, 560 career home runs is outrageous. Like it's just it's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty much from the inception of the 2000s when he was a rook in 2001, he immediately became top 5 overall that you must draft. It was like, oh, I got Pujols, kind of like Paul Rudd. Oh, I got Matsui. you got Pujols, and you were excited. And you know, you make a point that, well, yeah, there was a little dip there, but then at age 35 in that season, putting up 40 homers, talking about the longevity of one Albert Pujols. I'm not hating on you. Any of these guys can really be good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the same argument could be said with Cabrera if you're going to talk about Pujols in that regard. I mean, granted, yes, Pujols has way more 40 home run seasons than Cabrera, but Cabrera, for not excluding last season, he had an 11-year stretch where every year he hit 25 plus bombs and drove in at least 100 runs.
Right.
Like 11 years.
I'm not hating on it at all.
Guy's not that old either. Cabrera's only 31.
Yeah. Still got a lot of career to him, so.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy, wow. Excuse me. He's 30. He's 30. He's going to turning 33 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning 33. Yeah, the age isn't up there. The career is taking a toll on him now. I disagree a little bit. I can start to see his numbers. I mean, he's still going to be solid. You know, a guy you can solidly own. And we're talking all time. So we're looking at this one particular year. So, and the people on Twitter really agree with that stance with 35% of the vote. Miguel Cabrera wins this week's poll. It was pretty close, though, and a lot of votes came in. Thank you ever so much for everyone jumping in and voting on our Twitter poll, which you can see right now at A2DRadio_com. And, we had 26% for Chase Utley, 22% for Alex Rodriguez, and 17% for Albert Pujols. They're not agreeing with you, Mikey.
I don't know.
They should.
Only 17% for Pujols. That's surprising.
That's very surprising. I'm upset. You know, as much as I hated playing the Cardinals, he's got to be. I think he's better than Chase Utley. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely
if you're going stat-wise, fantasy-wise, you got to go Pujols over Utley.
Well, you know, it's
definitely go Pujols over Utley. I mean, I could see A-Rod over Pujols, but I can't see Utley over Pujols.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, if anything, it's Pujols, Rodriguez, then Miggy, maybe. Just looking at stat-wise, because, I mean, Miggy's still got – it was like 144 home runs that he's got to get in 3 years to be tied with Pujols to have the same amount of home runs.
Wow.
In a 3-year span. So right there, it just shows that, you know, you need to have almost 50 home run seasons, which isn't going to happen.
Mikey Kleinkoff dropping the knowledge.
Hey, you know, I gotta hit people sometimes, you know?
Well, here's the real question: Do you think Cabrera could put together another 5-6 year stretch where he hits at least 25 and drives in 100?
Well, let's ponder on that, and we'll answer that question on the other side. It's a great question you raised there, Doug. This segment is being brought to you by Obie's Catering, changing the world one dish at a time. You can contact Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. You can email him at cateringbyobie, that's OBIE, at yahoo.com, and check out his beautiful Facebook page, Catering by Obie. If you tell him Tom Renone and any of the boys from A2DRadio.com sent you, you get 20% off. On the other side, we're wrapping up our infield with the hot corner. This is Fantasy Dominance Now here on A2DRadio.com. You're listening to the worldwide leader of real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Martino Roofing. With more than 15 years of roofing experience, they have all the services that you need, whether it's new construction, tear-offs, replacements, or re-roofs for your residential or commercial business. They'll provide a detailed service in a timely and professional manner. So you can give them a call for a free consultation at 609-792-5103. Send them an email at martinoroofing@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.martinoroofingllc.com. The number again is 609-792-5103. Martino Roofing.
This is Head, your dude with the tunes from A to Z Classic Rock. When I'm hungry and in the mood for pizza or killer sandwich, I head to Legends Tap, located at 318 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey. Pleasant atmosphere, delicious pizza, kickin' sandwiches, great iced tea, soda, or if you prefer an adult beverage, they have that also. 318 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey, Legends Tap, the best pizza this side of the Delaware.
This is Tom Arnone, owner and founder of HUDRadio.com. What if I told you I knew the best caterer in the business? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's Obie's Catering. You can contact Obie's Catering at cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or give Chris O'Brien a call at 856-534-8410. From graduations to wedding rehearsals to just if you need food cooked in your house. He'll do it all. He's trying to change the world one dish at a time. That's Obie's Catering. Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Tell him Tommy A from HUDRadio.com sent you, and you get 20% off.
I'm going hungry.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, powered by Harry's Contracting and only on A2DRadio.com. If you're just joining us, well, I feel bad for you, son. We dropped a lot of knowledge. We broke down our first base rankings, our second base and shortstop rankings. We talked about who is the greatest fantasy baseball infielder of all time, which, according to our awesome followers on Twitter, they went with Miguel Cabrera, which is not bad. Definitely a great suggestion. And it's time to wrap up the infield with the third base rankings, the hot corner, which is proudly being brought to you by Obie's Catering. Speaking of hot dishes, he can change the world one dish at a time with each and every dish. You definitely reach out to him for all your catering needs. 856-534-8410. You can definitely email him cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or check out his new Facebook page, Catering by Obie. And one Chris O'Brien will thank me because I actually just realized that I double read him in this show. But hey, you can never not talk about Obie's Catering enough.
Very good. Very good.
Now, we got our phone lines closed at this point of the show, but we're still available for you on Twitter. Hit us up at RobbieBLTZ, at StatMagnet85. In either event, post your question with the hashtag AskFDN. I always randomly check the hashtag, getting out to some of the great questions that we've gotten in the show. No time to really hit those up right now. We did answer them offline. But let's jump right into the final position in the infield, third base. Doug, why don't you start us off, baby?
All right, cool. I got it 10, Old Reliable. And I call him Old Reliable because he's old. And that's Adrian Beltre.
Okay.
At number 10. You know what you're going to get out of him still. He's still going to hit you around 20 home runs, driving 100 runs. Like, loaded Texas team. It works. Number 9, I have Evan Longoria. He should be a little higher on this list, but, he's hurt all the time. So you really just don't know with him. But when he's healthy, he still produces. So I got him there locked in at 9.
I see him falling off. I really do.
I didn't put him in my top 10, but he's one of those guys that a couple years ago you would have him in your top 10, but like you said, injuries set him back, and the team that he's on really doesn't produce much.
No, it does really suck. But even when when he does play, he's still hitting 20 home runs and driving close to 100 runs. So, just for those two aspects alone, with like a 270 average, I could slot him in my bottom half of my 10.
Yeah, no, maybe I think about what he once was. He's a guy that's capable of hitting 35, 40 bombs.
It's like the same thing with Tulo.
Yeah.
What he once was.
Yeah. No
we
doubt.
still want to keep him in there,
Well, the land of the AL East is the once was.
Basically. So because of that, too, I think that his numbers will give him a nice pick in that regard because the AL East is pretty weak.
Right.
And a lot of bad pitching there. So I have him slotted in at, what did I say, at 9? At 8, funny enough, I actually had Trevor Plouffe.
Plouffe?
What the Plouffe?
That's a guy I forgot, man. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I like this kid, man. He's a 30-homer threat, definitely. He's a really good contact hitter.
30? Wow.
Yeah, 30. He hit. I think he hit like 24 last year.
22. Yeah. It's.
22?
I mean, that's within the realm of capability here, as that Minnesota team is up and coming.
Absolutely, especially better lineup around him. Maybe he gets a few more pitches to hit. At 7, I had Matt Carpenter.
Right. True that.
St. Louis. Yeah, pretty safe, pretty reliable.
Exactly where I have him.
At 6, I had Kyle Seager.
Kyle Seager, the other Seager, the poor man Seager.
The good Seager.
Hey, let's face facts. Corey Seager's pretty good too.
Corey Seager's pretty good too, but I don't know, man. I don't know. The height. He's so hyped.
Yeah, he is.
But his brother's a really good hitter.
When you play out in Hollywood, man, that's what happens. Hype.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hype City.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but that's an interesting top. Yeah, I was gonna say interesting bottom 5 there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys I could have put there. I mean, third base is interesting because you got like the top couple guys that are just so much better than everybody else.
Yeah. No, this is like really the scarce position, on top of the shortstop, which we discussed. There's a little more depth even in the shortstop position compared to third base. I mean, you can get solid guys. I mean, if I had a Justin Turner, say, as my starting third baseman, I wouldn't be crying about it, but not at the level that you get in the top 5. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Really the top like 6 are kind of like where that median line is, because Matt Carpenter's good, but he's not Kyle Seager.
True.
Yeah, I just think the top 5 that I have written down are just all studs. You can't go wrong with any of them, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. I think our top 5s for the most part are all the same 5 guys.
They have to be. If they're different, then I don't know if we're experts or not.
Grooves. Well, I believe Doug was trying to send it off to you, Mike, before I rudely interrupted him.
All right, number 10, I threw in Mike Moustakas. 9, Adrian Beltre. 8, Maikel Franco. 7, Kyle Seager, and 6, Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, a lot of similar names, little different organization.
I like Maikel Franco. I mean, I was debating putting him at 10.
Yeah,
in my own.
Throw a little
list.
Philly
I
love for
like
the station,
Yeah, exactly. Throw a little Philly love, but again, I mean, I just want to see him do it. I want to see him do it for a full season before
that area is full season
off on it.
Totally. It makes sense. Absolutely. I mean, you want a proven commodity. Yeah. I'm not hating on you. I mean, I too have Maikel Franco at 10. Another way I could snub Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, basically.
Anything to not have him on your list.
Right.
Dirty bastard.
Right. Well, people forget he is third base eligible too, so it is a way to sneak in. And to Doug's point earlier, and I believe you were praising in your top 10 and second baseman as well. Daniel Murphy, if he takes what he did second half of the year into the playoffs, continues that, he's going to play like that in all 19 games versus one New York Metropolitans.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to be going out for blood.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
It's Sunday Bloody Sunday. He's Irish, right?
Yeah.
Oh, big time. So, yeah, number 10, I got Maikel Franco, a little Philly love. He's just got a powerful bat. We've seen it this spring training. I've seen it for a lot of Phillies this spring training. They can bring some of this success into the regular season. I mean, I know a lot of times you're going against, other teams, AA players, yada, yada. Can you really put a lot of stock in spring training numbers? But a lot of good things to see for Philadelphia, and certainly you're going to see that in the years to come. Let's see here. So number 10, Maikel Franco. Number 9, I got Kyle Seager. Number 8, I got Adrian Beltre. Number 7, I got Matt Carpenter, and wait a minute, hold on a second. Uno momento. I think I skipped one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Maikel Franco, Kyle Seager at 9, Beltre at 8, Matt Carpenter 7, Todd Frazier. There he is, number 6. The guy, the Todd father, right there.
Todd father.
Okay, maybe our top 5 is a little different.
Yeah. I mentioned some. Okay. Well, he just missed the cusp there at number 6.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. There's a few guys there's a few interesting names there. I mean, why top 3s are so low? I think you were that's like your guy.
It is my guy, since he's really from Point Pleasant, not Tom's River, like the media likes to say. I mean, he'll hit 30 homers, 100 RBIs, good solid for that. It'll be 250, 255 average like he hit last year. See, here's where a different location. I mean, the White Sox ballpark should be suited towards his power, right? Got to see it.
Most guys going from the NL to the AL don't fare well.
Right.
The first couple seasons for Albert Pujols, like we talked before, he was very shaky.
Just that adjustment.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different atmosphere.
Right.
There's more batting. I don't know. It's just it's different for the guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's a very logical reason. I was going to go with the Doug Fresh clause again. I got to say it.
Oh, you got to say it. One year. Got to eye test them for 1 year.
I'm so not picking you on this on this point. I really am not. I mean,
no, but that's what it is, though. I mean, it really is an eye test. Like, all right, anybody could do it for 1 year. I mean, Brady Anderson hit 50 home runs 1 year. Like, anybody could do anything one time. Let's see, when you do it twice, all right, that what I mean. Then now, there's a baseline to say, okay, this is what this guy can do.
Right. Well, it's all about the pedigree, Doug, though. It's all about the pedigree. You could take a guy that's only done it one season and have confidence that it's going to be year in and year out, like a Carlos Correa, and like a guy that we've battled on, Mookie Betts. I really think Mookie Betts is a legitimate fantasy stud.
I like him.
I didn't say he wasn't. I never once said he wasn't. All I say about Mookie Betts is I want to see it again before I put him in a top 10 at any position. Like Carlos Correa, that's a little different because Carlos Correa is just it's different. Like when you see Carlos Correa play, it's special. Like something's different about him.
Special.
It's just everything he does is different. Everything he does is like wow.
He sparkles.
You don't get that. You don't get that with Mookie Betts. You don't get the wow factor.
Sparkly. No, I do though. I mean, and it's tough for me. By no stretch of the imagination am I any fan of any Red Sox ever.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just let that be known. So it's tough for me to actually argue for Red Sox. But I've seen him play, along with another stud that they have, Juan Moncada, who won't be with the big league club to start the year, but you may see him come August. Definitely a really deep sleeper alert for all you listening to today's Fantasy Dominance Now. I'm just really, I love his game. I'm enamored with it. I think he is special, like Carlos Correa, and I think this year will really cement that for him.
Yeah, and that's what I hope for. I hope that he does do that, and he shows up to be like the second or third best player, like at his position in the game. I want that. I want to see that out of the kid, but I want to see that out of the kid. Like Carlos Correa, I know he's that good.
True that. All right, let's move on to our top 5 while we still have some show left to go. And again, you can always tweet us your questions at Robbie BLTZ at StatMagnet85 with the hashtag AskFDN. You can find A2DRadio.com on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com. I'll start off with my top 5 at number 5. Anthony Rendon. I'm slotting him in here as well. He's third base eligible. I see a big bounce back season for him. He's going to be another one to make a big splash this year from an injury laden season the year before. Number 4, I don't think it's any big surprise. Chris Bryant. Maybe I have him a little low at number 4, but it's just because of the respect I have for the top 3 gentlemen. Number 3, I got Manny Machado. I've always been a huge fan of him, and he's really starting to come into his own, as we saw last season. Last season, he had 35 homers, 86 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases. You could expect that same level of production this year, even a more increased batting average as he's been working on his plate discipline during this spring training. Number 2, I got Nolan Arenado out of Colorado. Talk about having a lights-out spring training. Mike, he's batting .606 in spring training. Now,
wow.
Now, the only down part about this is that he's so red hot in spring training, every player's bound to slump. Will that slump happen when the games start counting?
Yeah.
There will be some regression. I don't think anybody could keep up that pace, not even the great Ted Williams. But great source. Yeah, he could try. That's absolutely right. He's a great source of batting average, homers, RBIs. Not so much stolen bases, but he'll put up 92 runs out there in Colorado. Definitely a great player. And number one, I got the bringer of rain, as he's known on Twitter, and that's Josh Donaldson.
Oh, the Viking Josh Donaldson.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it. I have pretty much the same guys, a little jumbled up there, but I'll go with mine. Number 5, Todd Frazier. I think he's going to be consistent with the slugging percentage definitely every year. New stadium, we'll see how he goes with the White Sox. So number 4, I threw in Nolan Arenado. I think, like you said, like I was saying before, he could go 3-4 or 3-2-1, any of those positions there.
Right.
Number 3, Manny Machado. Number 2, I threw in Chris Bryant, and number 1, Josh Donaldson.
So you're a little higher on Chris Bryant over Arenado, maybe because you see him a lot.
And like we said about with Anthony Rizzo, it's just the team around him.
Right.
I just think, more RBI chances, with that there. I just think more runs, RBIs are where he's going to get more points with there. So
Right. I can see your point there. I can see your point. Doug, who do you got in your top 5?
It's actually basically the same as yours and Mike's a little bit. At 5, I also have Todd Frazier. And then basically my 4 through 1 is basically copying your list, Rob. It's Chris Bryant, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, and then the bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson.
Well, I kind of expected to see similarities because times have changed, certainly from when we started playing fantasy baseball, or let me just speak personally, when I started playing fantasy baseball, that outfielders were always a dime a dozen, but it was the infielder that was really the key cornerstones of any fantasy lineup. Now you can start to see that shift as so many young prospects on the infield are coming up, but yet based on when we looked 3 shows ago, when we broke down starting pitching, relief pitching, and closers, which you can find right now on our site, a2dradio.com. You look under the fantasy dominance tag and you can check, past shows all the way towards our inception, which is great. It's a great archived site. Basically, there was a lot of disagreement there. How I had a guy here, you had a guy way down there, yada, yada, right? When we broke down the outfield last week, Mikey, when you were on spring break, me and Doug really couldn't agree on anything.
Yeah, well, there's so many outfielders.
Right.
It's hard to get a top 10 or however you guys had it set up.
Right. A lot of, unlike those past 2 weeks, a lot of similarities, and it goes to show that there's still thin positions out there. I mean, they've shifted around a little bit within the infield, but still overall, based on the congruency of our list, it really goes to show that they are thin.
Oh yeah, those lists are absolutely thin. Especially like short, like the position we were just arguing about with Carlos Correa being so like we both have him number 1, even though he's a young kid. Like it just goes to show you that because these positions are so thin, you almost have to rely on unproven guys to be like big contributors.
Right.
It's just a lot of parity in the game now. Everybody, all the good players in the outfield. What's up with that?
Well, that's why it's hard to pick anybody with the Pirates outfield. You have Marte, Kutch, and Polanco, all studs out there.
Right. Absolutely.
In an outfield like that, who is the best outfielder in Pittsburgh?
Oh, it's easily McCutchen, and then I think it would be Marte, Polanco. Polanco's more of a slugger, but Marte is definitely contact, and he's going to get you a lot of stolen bases. He's a fast dude. But Polanco's 6'5". He's bringing the bat when he's up there at the plate. So
bringing the juice. Polanco, he's got, he swings and misses a lot. His plate discipline is, yeah. But
last year I think was his first full season with us. So he's got a lot of career left to go. I think he's 24, maybe. I don't know his exact age, but he's still a youngin', as we would call him, right?
2 youths.
Yeah.
Boys, it's been an absolutely great show being brought to you by Harry's Contracting for professional home improvement. Definitely give Harry Ernst a call, 609-638-6336. You can email Harry, Harry's Contract Improvements at gmail.com. I'll let you know about a lot of his spring deals. Time to spruce up that house, both inside and out. Spring is here, even though on the first day of spring we got snow. That was great here in Jersey.
Oh, I loved it.
At least it was just a wee bit, Hey, you guys are going to want to come back to a2dradio.com at 2 p.m. as myself, one Matt Sudi producing today's show, and Brian Daly. Talk a little Flyers hockey and go around the league as we approach the playoffs. Should be a really interesting time. 2 p.m. here on our airwaves. Hockey happy hour. You're not going to want to miss it. Doug, you got any parting shots for our fantasy players getting ready for their draft or their playoffs?
That's good. Everyone out there, just good luck. It's good luck with your playoffs, with your basketball, hockey playoffs. If you got questions, we got answers. Hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag AskSDN.
No doubt about it. You got a great commodity over here. We won't ignore any answer. You give us your questions, and we'll help you dominate in your fantasy baseball leagues. For Mike Kleinkoff, Matt Sudi producing, Doug Fresh live from Milford, Mass. This is Rob Povia. Dominate in your fantasy baseball leagues, and we'll catch you next week on Fantasy Dominance Now.